Hello, hello, everybody.
Hi. Welcome back to War Unending, the show where I get one of my friends to play me in a game of Warhammer, and then we talk about it because Games Workshop or whatever. I don't know. I like Warhammer. Uh,
I also like Warhammer.
wow, this is probably the worst intro I've done so far.
I
I've just
mean,
completely given up 5 episodes in.
it's okay. I'm also new to the series. Hello, I'm Crow. I work as a all-around backstage man.
Yeah, Crow's one of our is the person that does all the beautiful artwork that you've seen so far for the series.
Hopefully.
Uh, hopefully. Uh, Good friend. Yeah, and here they are. This week I played Space Wolves and Crow played the Thousand Sons. A rematch, centuries in the making. Um,
And just like always, the Imperium wins.
wow, spoiler. I mean, I'm guessing based on the thumbnail, I guess it was probably easy to tell, but
And
uh,
we should be like what, 5 episodes in by now?
yeah, yeah.
They should at least have a hint.
I just remembered that we were going to name this fucking episode "Not All Zongors Go to Heaven." God damn it.
And it's going to be fucking beautiful.
It will be. I just forgot that's what we were calling this until now.
I mean,
Uh,
it's accurate though.
it is, especially given this game.
Oh
On
yeah.
screen right now should be our lists. You might notice a theme in both of our lists. You might also notice a gigantic Baneblade slash Fellblade shaped elephant in the room. We'll
Oh
talk
yeah.
about that. We'll talk about that. Um, Before we get into everything, Crow, how did you feel about that match?
Uh I think I love how all of our games, including this one, just ends with us devolving into madness, whether it's you or me.
Yeah,
And isn't that
yeah,
just how working with chaos goes?
yeah, yeah. I
uh
can. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah.
I think my main strategy going into the match itself, if I remember correctly, my thoughts were I want to take full advantage of range that Thousand Suns you're supposed to. uh,
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we both tried to lean heavily into what Thousand Suns and Space Wolves usually do, which is melee and range. But the
Yeah.
problem was we picked a map that would be amazing for melee while also really difficult for both of our armies.
I don't think either of us really realized just how weird this map setup was till we started playing.
Yeah,
Because it looks fine like on the surface, and it should be on screen right now. But like, wow, no, like even with like playing in melee, this map was kind of weird. Um,
like you have the
that
shoot, like the cattle shoot of the middle that
yeah,
that like you have to be very careful to get to either first or last. And even
yeah,
then, it's not even a guarantee that you'll be safe in the middle, especially from ranged things. The middle
Y-
is perfect for range, while also
but
being
then
shitty as hell.
yeah, it was like it's like a weird like the only thing I can compare this to is in like a team based shooter when there's like just like a really long sniper corridor right down the middle of the map essentially.
Yeah.
Like this map would have been perfect if I was playing my Eldar list because my Dark Reapers would have just ate that shit up.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but we'll talk about that more as the game goes on because that middle sees a lot of dumb things happen to it.
That
Um,
especially at the end.
yeah. My strategy was a simple one that most Space Wolf fans will know. The Space Wolf difference, as we call it here. I was going to just put Crow in Wolf jail the entire game. Uh, to varying success, but you know, Wolf jail.
Wolf
That's
Jail is
it.
always a solid choice in a lot of
Until it's not
situations. Yeah.
until it's not because GW might be removing the Thunderwolf cavalry.
Aw.
I don't know when this episode's going up, so if it hasn't been removed because the codex should be out by the time this goes up. If it hasn't been removed, point and laugh at me in the comments, and
No,
if it
no,
has been
no.
removed,
Obviously.
cry with me in the comments.
Obviously, you have to censor this entire part of the episode later in a re-upload. We
Because I was
can't
wrong,
have
and I
them
can't have
know.
that on the internet.
We can't have it. It stays forever, but which of you is going to actually, put this on archive of the internet?
True, but yeah, no. Basically, it just there's no like concrete information. People are just like heavily speculating based off the word of the dude who leaked the Space Wolf reveal, who also was speculating that he thinks Thunderwolf Cavalry are gone, which would be a shame if they were, because I think they're really funny.
Which
But
is
I
fair.
digress. Yeah. Anyway, on to the actual match. Uh, on screen right now should be our deployment zones. I should have approximated those as closely as I could. I deployed really badly this game, and by that I mean I should not have put the Land Raider back in that weird ass corner I put it in. Um,
I mean, there wasn't
and
really
I
much that we could do. We had because the deployment zones themselves were odd.
yeah, it was
Uh, we also, because of the map, just couldn't really use our big guys as much. Like if I will say Fellblade, I love the Fellblade. I just wish there was a better map for it. Uh, it might go better if I had put the Fellblade at the front line and just charged it.
oh, this was a
Uh,
Crucible Battle deployment. My bad. Okay, I'll try to remember what the name
yeah.
of it was. But honestly, the thing with the so like I didn't say anything when you put it down, but which is kind of a dick move of me now that I think back about it. But
Eh.
from what I remember against playing against our friend Fugles's Imperial Guard army, is that really big tanks like the Baneblade or the Fellblade. You either need to have them right up front, or like put them as close to the front line as possible, or they're just never going to see like any action in that game because they're essentially just stuck behind everything and they're too big to fit through most like areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Uh,
I usually make uh crucial failures or
I mean,
mistakes.
you just haven't played enough. Like you have really good lists. It's just that like translating those onto the field takes a little bit of practice, you know?
Oh yeah. Again,
Yeah.
crucial mistakes, but mistakes are failure. Mistakes and failures are just learning opportunities.
Yeah. Uh,
I also have
I'm just
never
look.
played a Thousand Suns army, so trying
Remind me, did
to
you? Oh,
figure
sorry.
out the rituals was the hardest part
That's
because
fair.
it's so confusing to go from a Zinch list to having Cabal points and trying to get an answer on, well, how do these work going into a battle? How do you spend them? How do you earn them even in the army building process? Because Magnus costs 4 Cabal points off the bat. It's definitely difficult trying to figure out all that and then getting it onto the table and then using it in action. Um, so I didn't really use a lot of rituals like I should have, like a Thousand Suns uh, army would you normally be ran. I at least
That's
got one
fair.
off though.
If it makes you feel any better, I remembered like I think I forgot for an entire battle round that I had my sagas active and just completely forgot about them when they could have like definitely turned the tide against your vortex beast, which is something we'll talk about.
Oh my god.
The
I
fucking
love
vortex
my
beast.
boy.
I will say, getting into this first round, I felt real bad for Magnus. I'm not gonna lie. Boy got put into wolf jail and just like he just got his back like Bane back broken all over again.
you, we're trying not to say the two words of back end shot together.
Look. If I'm not going to say the thing that I was just about to say because I realized that might actually get us in trouble. Never mind.
Hey, you can always censor it. We could always just have Nolly or whoever edits this episode just go, uh, beep.
Look, if I have to censor out the words, I'll do it. Oh fuck! Wait, no, I have to do it now. God damn it!
I can I can trick you into saying anything awful.
God damn it! God damn it! My poor gray hunters. You
Shot
died
in
so
the
fast.
back.
Uh, no, but this was a good game. This was a good game. Yeah, I moved up my gray hunters, just kind of trying to get them up the board. I really wanted to hyper focus Magnus because, uh, I have fought. I've never fought Caissons before this, but I have fought pre nerf Angron, and I know how
Ah,
dangerous the demon Primarchs can be. So I just wanted that big red fucker gone. Things you can also say about Clifford the dog. That's the first time I've thought about Clifford the dog in like I think 10 years.
which is
No,
valid.
it would have been like 20 years. I forgot how fucking old I was for a second. Jesus Christ. Uh, well, now that I've dealt with
Now that you've
my
dated your
existential dread for a
ass.
second, yeah, I forgot that I put my fucking Land Raider Crusader just facing down that group of Zongors down there.
I mean,
uh,
it's really hard. Again, it's really difficult to position things that are like incredibly huge. And like
yeah.
it is good to have a good straight shot because otherwise you're gonna have like the whole okay, it moved 4 inches to the left and now we're going to go diagonal.
Yeah. I just feel bad for the Zongors. I This is going to sound so stupid, but playing Space Marine 2, which also comes in importantly into this game, as we'll get into later. You've heard me, Cole, and like Ari and a few other people just endlessly joking about like the Thousand Suns Combat Patrol and the Zongors and stuff, and like all of the joking about it has actually kind of endeared me to Zongors a little bit,
So
which is
valid. They are just silly
bad.
little guys.
They are, but also it means I kind of want to like get the Thousand Suns Combat Patrol before it goes away for a better one, and I know I shouldn't because I'm never going to use Zongors or Thousand Suns, so it's like
I mean, at that point it's like
crap.
a nice like set dressing, you know?
That's true. That's true. I could
I
just use them as set dressing, but like I
also
don't know. That's a lot of money for that.
Jay, we're autistic. We're going to want to collect things.
That's true, but I'm already collecting Eldar and Emperor's Children and Space Wolves and it's just the battle. Oh god, I have a problem.
I, you're realizing that now because I feel like you realize that at least 5 times and then you forget when you're inhaling fumes.
Hey, hold on. No, that makes it sound like I'm like getting high. I'm like okay. Hold on. To clarify that, just because I paint a lot of models does not mean I'm huffing paint fumes.
You
I might
did have to argue with your accountant that the paint that the paint spray was the best idea. That the spray paint,
what the airbrush? Yeah,
yeah.
I still don't have one just because I keep forgetting to like look into like how to actually like a good one.
You should definitely look into that because we actually have one over here.
Ooh,
And we have to fix it because baseball's brother slash sibling, is also an artist, has always been. Um, and it shoots thick globs,
oh,
so it that can be a common issue if you don't know how to take proper care of one. Is that it will just like spray like full droplets and not like that nice and even coat, the nice fine.
okay. So it
Uh,
gets all like gunked up essentially.
yeah, we're trying to figure it out because my partner would love to fix it up and actually start painting their ultramarines when they finally, you know, get some rolling.
I'm going to
Um,
find your address and send them to you for Christmas.
Uh,
I'm
I I think they'd cry, like
going. Look,
tears of joy.
I'm. I know Joseph doesn't run Redemptor Dreadnoughts anymore, but if I just send them a fucking Jerry, I don't know. I feel like that's the best course of action, but I don't know.
I mean, it's really up to you, because I'm not gonna push for you to obviously get things, because I don't
Yeah,
want to take advantage of you at all.
I
You
get
know.
that.
Plus,
Also, real.
you're
Oh,
already
sorry.
paying me enough for. You pay me to be here.
That's true. Also, real quick, I just have to say the reason we're just kind of talking over this first round is because it's just a lot of me moving things into place and then charging Magnus and then putting them in Wolf Jail. And
Yeah.
I did like what, like 10 damage to Magnus in this first like charge with the wolves. And
Quite a
then
lot of
also
damage.
you,
We should, from now on, definitely start marking how much damage we do in an instance.
yeah.
That way we
Oh,
can
for
have,
yeah.
yeah, for better commentary in the videos and stuff.
Nolly's always here when we play these. Maybe I can get Nolly to start taking notes of what happens at like what time, like stamps and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Shit, that's a good
I'm sure
idea.
the obviously it's a good idea. I'm here.
um,
I have to push off that I have an ego. Hi guys, I'm the proud one.
Oh God, I just remembered that you gave all of my gray hunters hazardous and like three of them died and trying to shoot Magnus because of his auras.
And because he
Remember that?
has, because of the Crimson King ability.
Yeah.
Uh, and for those who don't know that what Magnus has, because fair, hold on while I pull up my own list. He has an ability that's like Crimson King. He just comes with this, and it's kind of like Be'lakor. If any of you have run demons, Be'lakor also has, you pick one at the start of your turn of this phase. Not this phase. You basically pick one for that battle turn, and that's what he has. Magnus here is using Treason of Tzeentch, and basically any enemy unit within 24 inches and visible to him until the end of the phase, they just have the hazardous ability. And funnily enough, the joke in our group is nothing ever happens, kind of like
Yeah.
nothing ever happens to the Kennedys. Um, and things happened.
Yeah, hazardous went off more times in this match than I think it has ever. Also, before I forget, my other set of wolves put a bunch of Zongors on discs in wolf jail before eating them to death because I guess Zongor meat tastes good to wolves. It's just like chicken people, I think, right? That's all the Zongors are.
I mean, basically, a lot of Tzeentch's guys are birds. Um,
What's Oh, sorry.
I mean, if you want to say that they're like anything, I'd say pheasants.
That's fair. You want to know something really fucked up?
Hmm.
Zongors in Age of Sigmar slash fantasy aren't directly a Tzeentch thing. They're just beastmen that
And
also have a lot of Tzeentch followers.
yeah, they could be like that in Warhammer. I haven't really like deep dived into my boy Magnus's like everything, because
It's
you know,
yeah,
researching everything in Warhammer can be a lot.
especially considering
Without
how much stuff has
someone,
changed and retconned over the
and
years.
also without someone holding your hand and guiding you
Yeah.
through it. Like,
Yeah.
ah, Messiah, please guide me along the wire that is being a problem to my dreadnought. Uh,
As far as I know, in 40K, Zongors are just like chaos cultists that got like transformed by Tzeentch. But I know in Age of Sigmar, they're just beastmen that follow Tzeentch.
yeah, it
Cause
could have been
yeah,
blessed by Tzeentch. I'd say Tzeentch is probably the best one you could follow out of the out of the Chaos Gods, but that's a personal opinion.
I I feel like at the end of the day, trying to figure out which Chaos God is the best to follow is a losing battle because any one of them is just going to like put you in the endless agony chamber for the fuck of it.
I mean, yeah, but at least Tzeentch is still a god of hope.
Yeah, I guess I could see that because
Like
changes does lead to hope.
with Slanesh and the excess, right? Yeah, sure, you're feeling pleasure at all times, but that can get fucking painful as hell, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
for Zinch, if you're driven mad, you end up losing any kind of like feeling if you do go insane, right? That's my reasoning. Is if you're just like batshit insane, you're not gonna pay attention to anything that's happening to you. You know, you're
that's
just
fair.
gone. You're dissociated enough. It's not great, but I know what dissociation feels like.
God,
I
you talking about the oh wait, that reminded me before I forget. For the actual battle, my secondaries were storm hostile objective and bring it down. Crows were established locust and engage on all fronts. I feel like it's important to say because we forgot to say at the beginning of the match.
yeah,
But also I was going to say you talking about Slanesh and Excess just reminded me of that one planet that's literally just a dude who's like ate so much he like just became the size of a planet essentially.
that
It's
is a fetish.
it
That
is.
is
I mean,
that
to be
is
fair, how much of Warhammer is just someone's barely disguised fetish? Let's be real here.
all of it.
Yeah,
All of it. Like just even with the Emperor of Mankind, you can just say it's a fucking like,
power
like a
fetish.
yeah. It's a lot of power play, a little bit of BDSM, and like also a lot of pet play in there. Uh, whether you recognize or not, but
God,
definitely,
this episode's all over the place.
it's really. Well,
Let's
you're talking
let's
to the
do.
demon player.
That's true.
I'm gonna
The
bring up
Zinch demon player
everything.
specifically.
Yes, I'm
Hold on.
conniving. I am open and honest to an uncomfortable degree.
You also will steal like $20 from my wallet occasionally.
I'll tell you about it.
You will. I forgot you. I forgot on your turn you deep striked a bunch of Terminators onto my back line. I forgot about that.
Yes, that is a staple for me in any army that I do that has deep strike. I will always go for a back line, uh, which is funny because everyone who has ever played against me forgets that by the next time we
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. That guilty is charged. And you. All right. Let's see. You took the rubrics out of the Rhino, right in front of the wolves.
Yeah,
Um.
because it's definitely, I'm going to try and take this as best I can.
Unfortunately, the rubrics get sent to wolf jail. Spoiler warning.
They won, well, they also intentionally did that because the rubrics are also really good with melee after they
Yeah.
fire.
They did take out like one or two wolves if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Um, Again, most of
Uh.
this battle, I was hoping to rely on really, really good rolls,
Yeah.
and I
Oh yeah. You
had a
charged. Oh
few
sorry.
good ones.
You did. Oh yeah. You got the vortex beast in the melee range against my wolves because you were trying to take them out before they took out Magnus.
Yeah,
Uh.
and the cultists hoping that they
Those
could do
those
anything.
those fucking cultists that survived the
Oh
entire
my
goddamn game
god.
somehow.
I Fun fact, people. The cultists are just they're meant to die. That is kind of their entire point. They don't do anything good other than die. If they can somehow take out a unit, you get either Cabal points or CP. They don't really specify which. So it just says CP, which is another thank you, Gaming Workshop, for
I I
clarifying.
I'm gonna be real. I hate that so many things and so many games use that abbreviation. Like COD points in Call of Duty. Uh, it like please just abbreviate it to something else. Please call them like wait no that still starts with a C. Hold on. I was going to say
Coin
captain
with a
points, but like
K.
fucking I don't know.
Hostage
Call them
points.
tactical points. There we go.
Tactical
There
TP. Yeah,
yeah TP tactical points. There we go.
it's a
Like
lot
call it
less
something like that.
dangerous.
Yeah. It feels a lot less weird to say it. God, I still remember I was watching a play on tabletop match one time, and one of the guys playing just yelled, I have so much CP
Oh my
mid
god.
match, and all and like at least like a third of the comments were just like time stamping that moment, being like, dude, you can't say that. Like, dude, like what, like you have so much what? Like stuff like that. It's like, God, they really
Yeah,
gotta like think about this or something. That's why I always just say command points, because I just hate saying that.
I think well, the reason why a lot of games do that is because they're coming from it from a very naive point of view
Yeah.
on the world at large at this point, and sadly it has gotten to a point in the world with instances uh of people who are underage just invading a lot of spaces while also being left with none for themselves that are actually safe because of very selfish individuals hoping to get any grasp of their nostalgia back. I am one of those people. I have, but that's because a lot of us missed out on a good childhood. But it does not excuse taking over children's spaces, you know, which then
Yeah.
pushes them into adult spaces, hoping to prove themselves as being mature, and that can include tabletop, you know, but it also leads to abbreviations that can let people in those spaces taking advantage of those groups to get away with things a little bit more. So they should really contemplate changing the abbreviations of a lot of things, if not just the titles.
Yeah. On a side note, this isn't going to show up in the video because I can't use the actual footage of us playing. It was really funny watching you spend like 5 minutes trying to adjust the fell blade so you can actually move it forward while we were having this conversation just now.
Yeah, just
That's all. I
beep,
just want.
weep, weep. It's like, uh, by the way, ladies, I'm forklift certified. So,
That's true. That's true. Crow actually is. I know this for a fact.
yeah, I'm forklift and reach certified. But what I can tell you is I'm still taken, and therefore I have to take a minute.
I have played against your husband and they killed me because we didn't understand how chaplain rules worked.
I
That's not the.
most
That's
of
not the
our
only reason why.
tournaments
Was that?
most of our tournaments and battles have been us going, what are the rules? Getting them right, and then getting them wrong, and then getting them
Yeah.
right again.
And I need to say, Joseph did just genuinely kick my ass during that game with the Imperial Fist for Sisters. It was really funny putting a chaplain in Terminator armor in this army, and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, that's not how that works at all. We were playing that wrong the entire game. Those Terminators should have been fucking dead.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
it's part of the fun. Is like
it
one,
is.
learning the rules, and two, wishing that they would stop changing.
It also just adds to the narrative of things a little bit, I feel like. We're
Oh
like,
yeah,
sure, it would be nice if we remembered all the rules at all times, but sometimes, like, rule fuck ups lead to, like,
really epic
really.
moments.
Yeah, like those Imperial Fists, Terminators surviving against all odds, against, like, half my army firing into them because of feel no pains that Joseph kept winning. Uh. Hey, I forgot
uh,
you tried charging my venerable dreadnought with your rhino.
I mean, it was worth a shot because we're trying to get as many issues away from the objective as possible, and I didn't
Yeah.
want any contesters. If I had managed to wipe out your, Wolfgang, uh, it
I
it probably would have led to the dreadnought contesting and a lot of other things.
yeah. A lot of the your half of round one was just you kind of trying to respond to me unleashing the hounds up the board as fast as possible, basically.
Oh yeah, because I hadn't researched how much Space Wolves can move. I kind of figured that like with some melee armies, they don't have a lot of movement, but they have a lot of tank to them. So
Yeah.
I expected like units that could have like heavy. You know, I should
Oh,
have,
yeah, yeah.
but I didn't see your list for a minute. So when we do these games, we only see the list usually right as we're fighting.
Uh, yeah.
Uh, So I don't usually know how like other armies play as much because I don't play those armies. uh
Yeah,
so if this map was a lot more suited to range, which there are areas that are really good for range, but for the, you know, got objectives,
yeah.
uh they're definitely more difficult to defend with a ranged army, and I didn't have as many rubric marines as I should have, but that's because I wanted to try out the Fellblade as much as possible.
It's because you were
Uh,
using the entire Thousand Sons combat patrol. We needed to get the Zongors in there.
we needed to get the Tzaangors because they're the only things that are useful besides rubric marines. Like, and
Although,
even then, the Tzaangors aren't even all that great. They're entirely melee focused. Um,
oh yeah, they are, aren't they?
yeah, they don't have ranged options. So somehow the cultists are more useful and yet less useful than the Zongors, at least in terms of range and melee and being able to deal out both. To shoot them in the face and then you try and punch them too approach. Uh,
uh,
but yeah, it's a very interesting like dichotomy because it's so obvious that the Space Wolves and Thousand Suns are to be at like complete odds,
yeah, they're
like
like
in
complete opposites
opposites.
essentially.
Yeah, because they both have decent movement. Is the odd part, I'm used to
Yeah,
Zinch where your movement is fucked, right? It is insane how much you can move with like Chaos Legion. Uh, and fun fact, I don't just play Incursion. I don't play Demonic Incursion as much. I play specifically Zinch or like mixtures of other demons because it's fun.
except for that one time you played purely Corn Demons.
Yeah, I like exploring what the demonic legions have to offer. So
Makes sense.
I'm not really a marine player, and it's definitely something to get used to, especially when they have gimmicks. And Thousand
Yeah,
Suns has gimmicks. Uh,
I sorry, you go.
Continue.
Oh no, I was just going to say that I'm hoping that, like, speaking of Marine players and stuff, I'm hoping that now that like pretty much all of the main like Marine line got the Primaris treatment, that we start seeing more things for the Chaos Marine factions and for like the kind of the sub factions of the Space Marines, like how they're doing all that new like Space Wolf stuff. I hope we
Yeah.
kind of keep going down that route instead of like them just making new generic Space Marine stuff, you know?
Oh yeah.
Also, while you were talking about the usefulness of the Zongors, I got curious. I opened up New Recruit real quick.
Oh, I have
Uh,
it open.
the max amount of Zongors you can run in one list is like 900 points exactly of them if we include Zongor shamans.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that known that you can run. Hold on, 20, 40, 68. You can run 120 Zongors. And then sorry, 123 if we include Zongor shamans, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful list.
Oh yeah. Oops, only Zongors. But I personally love the Vortex Beasts as
God,
well.
the
They're
Vortex
so
Beast.
fun.
Uh, Before we move on to round two, where a lot more shit happened, I just want to say I forgot just how many of my wolves got murdered to death in melee by your Vortex Beast and Magnus, because I was under the assumption when I charged Magnus that he would not be able to hit very well in melee because he's a big like nerd. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Well, that's the thing is the funny thing about that is that Magnus is also the closest to the Emperor, if I remember correctly in his lore. Like he is the closest in looking like the Emperor and also kind of beefcaked.
Yeah, he was the largest one. He was the one the Golden Throne was originally built for because he was the only psyker that was close to the Emperor in terms of like psychic power.
He's
Other than like
he's
maybe Malkador, but I
only
don't know.
he is only second to the Emperor.
Yeah.
That is why he was able to, fuck up some things.
Fuck.
Uh,
Magnus
but
did the
like,
best he could with the information he had available to him at the time.
yeah, I love seeing people like debate and say, "Oh, Magnus couldn't do nothing right." That is something I've seen a lot on TikTok. That is a lot of victim blaming. That's
Look,
concerning.
it's not Magnus's fault that he was like
It's not his fault. He
completely
cared
like
about his father, and also,
a demon god was whispering to him his entire life
yeah, and he was never exposed to chaos.
because Big E was a dumbass.
Yeah, none of them were adequately warned and prepared for what chaos could do, and especially Zinch. You know, I love
Yeah,
Zinch because he is exactly like Big E in like a different flipped coin aspect. Like they are two sides of the same coin. They
I
both
can see
love
that.
irony. They're both conniving, So the only one that could really sway any of like the Emperor's children or even the Emperor himself would be Zinch. But that's also because he's what, the oldest, I believe?
Wait, do you mean Emperor's children as in like just in general the Emperor's children, or like Emperor's children as in the faction?
The Emperor himself.
Okay, I got confused because you said the Emperor's children. It made me think of the new army that just came out.
No, I mean as in like the Primarchs.
Gotcha,
The
gotcha. Okay,
Emperor's to clarify, the Emperor's quote unquote children.
I hate the way Games Workshop names things.
This
Why
is
is a why is a Chaos faction still called the Emperor's Children? Why is
I don't know. Well, to be fair, they're ran by Fulgrim, who
the perfect son?
uh, uh no, yeah. Um God, that reminds me of a TikTok. Oh God. Um
Uh,
Not good. We're not going there. I
yeah,
sent it to you, I believe. But
we'll
they're
talk
ran
about
by
it after the
Fulgrim,
fact.
who I believe what was close to Lorgar.
No, Fulgrim was close to Ferris Manus and Perturabo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And if they do follow the like religious aspect of things, then yes, I can understand why they were called the Emperor's children because children of faith, yada fucking yada. Uh, it's
Yeah,
not great though when you're trying to talk about the Primarchs. They are still
the Emperor's Children.
yes, and we can't really constantly say Big E unless
Yeah,
all the time
yeah.
because then it
Just
gets confusing.
really quick, getting back to the match, just because I realized we're like 30 minutes into this recording, and we were just now hitting round two of the game.
Oh yeah.
Um, this is also why this game took so long. It's because we kind of just tend, when Crow and I talk, we kind of just tend to go on tangents a lot.
Uh, we go
It
from
ha
one. It's because I have ADHD. And I am a perfect representation of the tism. Uh, where we're both on the same ends of the spectrum, where
Yeah,
a conversation, and much like my outlook on life, is very fluid. It just keeps following the stream till you get to the ocean, which is just a mega load of information.
yeah, yeah. Same here.
And then you move
On
on to
that
the next lake.
On that note, now that one half of my wolves have been completely decimated because of the big beast and Magnus, uh, round two is when things got really funny, and by that I mean
I should name
I
the
dropped
Vortex Beast Vortimir.
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 uh, this is the round I advanced my Grey Hunters onto the middle point, just to have something there. This is the round where I dropped my Terminators out of the Land Raider to get them within charging range of Magnus to put him down. My tiny short pre-Primaris Terminators because the Wolf Guard didn't have Primaris models, and probably won't until after this recording goes up. I don't know when they're actually putting out the Space Wolf stuff, but I'm hoping it's not for a while because I need to save money for it. Um,
Starts
God, I
crying.
hate real quick. I hate how I got into this game with my girlfriend, and then immediately after I got into the game is when they started putting out stuff for 3 of the 4 factions I was most interested in. It's like, oh yeah, you just got into this game, cool. New Eldar stuff with new Eldar models for the first time in 30 years.
I mean,
AKA, like, new versions of these models for the first time in 30 years, I should say.
that's usually how it goes, though. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten, like, Joseph into, like, a series, and it will instantly just get new shit. I kind of did it on purpose with Dragon Riders, because I really wanted a possible new thing on that end, but, like, it just didn't
Did it
happen.
work? Oh, I'm
No.
sorry.
No, it didn't.
I'm sorry.
We'll hope for movies, but I don't think they'd even be able to handle it and with the grace it deserves. Uh,
Movies tend to not be very great at that, especially recently.
there can be like a lot of grace involved with certain series and books and shows. It's just getting the right director and like the right
Yeah.
writers, screenplay, the cinematographers. Shout out to you guys. You make everything possible.
uh, I for I can't talk, but you know, I include the venerable dreadnought because I just thought the idea of a dreadnought having an axe and shield was really funny to me.
The humble, venerable dreadnought.
That is true. It put in some work. I'm going to be real. It put in some work. It it
Gulagoon.
it punched your or well, sorry, it chopped your rhino to death, and it's going to charge your Zongors on discs next turn.
Oh yeah,
Uh
enlightened Zongors.
oh, I forgot to put those in the Zongor. We'll do that after this. We've tangented enough time. Um,
Put them in the oops only Zongor list.
yeah. Yeah. No, this round was basically just a lot of moving things forward and getting them as in position for me to just kind of hold board control as much as possible.
Hold the
Uh,
line.
yeah. Meanwhile, all your big units were kind of tied up in the wolf jail. Like your rubrics and then Magnus still. Uh, I was surprised you didn't charge my or try to get near my long claws at the end of the game. Or not the end of I mean during last round when you dropped your terminators back there cuz I was able to just shoot them this time. But also like I barely did anything against them, so I don't think it really mattered in
I
the end.
I kept them there on the the objective because it would just be in more points that way.
Yeah.
No one was
That makes
contesting
sense.
them. It's like a desperate last stand. If all the rolls go right, I get more objectives and you lose more guys. But that did not happen, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But
And then
I'm
this is
still
also
like,
oh sorry.
it's still at the very end trying to at least be as clever as possible.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is also importantly the battle round where a good friend of ours, a good friend of ours, a very important fixture of the army. You know him. Actually, you don't know him. We know him. We love him. The Lord Captain hit the field. The Lord Captain is not his full name. I don't know if we can say his full name on YouTube. I don't know if that word is not a good word for YouTube. Um, Crow, do you know if that's a if Gooner is a word we could say on YouTube? I'm probably gonna have to censor that out now that I've said it.
I mean, I I think Gunner's fine.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna read out his full title and name, and then explain his origin story because I feel like that's necessary since I
And
included him as the warlord of this army.
in as PG a way as possible.
All right, his name is Lord Captain Battle Brother Gooner, Hammer Lord of the Skyclaws from the 3rd Regiment of the Howling Mountain Space Wolves chapter, descendant of the Honorable Lehman Russ, Master of the Combat Jack, Sprayer of Bugs, and Scourge of the Thousand Suns.
He's a
Now,
sprayer,
to
all right.
explain all that, uh, I'm not going to do the voice here, but while I was playing through Space Marine 2 for the first time with 2 good friends of mine, we were doing the operations, and I made my character the Jump Pack Assault class, and did all the Space Wolf armor stuff because Space Wolves are like the coolest Space Marine chapter in my opinion. And I just started doing this voice because we jokingly called the VC chat we were in Gilliman's Gooners. Um, and I started doing this stupid voice talking about ethical gooning on the battlefield and the combat jack and other various stupid things. And thus the Lord Captain was born. And he's kind of just evolved to this
Praise
point
it
where I just
be.
kept adding things. Yeah, praise be. Where I just
Praise
kept
it
adding
be.
things to his title, and now he is the warlord of my Space Wolves army because I like the jump pack assault intercessors, and it's really funny having him here with it.
Praise it be. Battle gooder, brother.
Hello, brother. Fuck! I said I wasn't going to do the voice. God damn it.
Well, to
Uh,
be fair, I could always reference Bruva Alpha Busa with Mini Magnus voice that I apparently do very well.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
It no. The reincarnation is
Oh,
guaranteed.
oh, the Meatwad voice.
It again, it's a reference to Bruva Alpha Busa's Warhammer series, which is
Oh, okay.
Emperor has a text to speech device, which I recommend
Oh,
everyone goes. Yes.
I need to watch that still, but
Yes,
I
it's a
honest
little
to God
dated, but
honest to
uh
God, I always just associate with Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
which is fair. But at the very end, Magnus like gifts like a mini me, like a mini Magnus that looks like a little fucking sock puppet, and I love him. Uh and he says the most wild shit. Like, I will shed my skin, innards, and burn to become a curse upon Big Magnus perennial. You know? Just, I
You
will.
know what? I respect it. I
Yeah,
respect it.
which means it's a. It's an every so often kind of, if this fails, I will haunt you. You know, like the thought that comes back and intrudes on your thoughts and just goes, hey, remember what you did in third grade? Wasn't that embarrassing?
God, I hate having thoughts like that.
And that is exactly what Magnus did to himself with Mini Magnus.
Poor guy. I always feel bad about putting him in wolf jail and like beating him to death with thunder hammers.
It's all right. This is
Almost.
normal Magnus. I but that's the thing is like with the voices it's fine. You know?
Yeah.
Again, with the
I
tangents of going down the river and the creek and we're babbling.
uh basically all this round was me just charging into Magnus, killing him with hammers. I fired all of my Land Raider Crusaders weapons into a bunch of Zongors, killing them instantly. Uh
And for on my part, it was try and kill as many of these damn dogs as possible. So much so it'll be a new episode on doesthedogdie.com.
but Crow, you can't keep a good dog down. That's the Space Wolf difference.
Yeah, well, not all good Zongors go up.
We should probably explain the Zongor. Not all Zongors go to heaven thing. After I shot all of the Zongors to death with the Land Raider Crusader, I made a joke about them going to Zongor heaven, and Crow's very clear that there's no such thing as a Zongor heaven.
They
And
just
then
go back to Zinch, and if anything, he'll probably bonk them and send them into the hole where
the
Kairos Fate
Zongor
Weaver.
hole.
No, it's just the black hole that Zinch just kind of finds really funny and threw Kairos Fate Weaver into, and then Kairos came back with another head.
Look, I know about the Kairos Fate Weaver black hole, but I'm just imagining a giant pit in the ground just full of Zongors that are in
It's
timeout.
where they belong.
uh, um, I shot and then charged all these Zongors on your last point with the Lord Captain's unit because I just was trying to take as many points as possible just to get the point lead.
Which is valid.
Yeah. Uh, the Lord Captain gets in because of I don't. Did I need to re-roll the charge on that? Hold on. I don't think it
I
matters, but I know
don't
that the
think you did.
what's that?
I think you made it.
Okay. Because I know that the Skyclaws have like a, I think it's the Skyclaws have a reroll the charge roll thing. It might either be the jump pack captain or the Skyclaws. I'm going to double check that. I think it's the Skyclaws though.
Da, da,
Yeah,
da.
it's the Skyclaws. Okay. Uh, Unfortunately, this set up for some terrible things to happen on Crow's half of the round.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Magnus did die though. That was important. Magnus got brought to heal.
And sadly,
Uh,
he didn't blow up.
yeah. God, I still think it's so funny that all the demon Primarchs have deadly demise.
Well, that's probably because they have to go back to their third fathers.
Yeah.
Daddy number 3.
Well, does Fulgrim have deadly demise? I need to know.
Probably.
Oh my
Especially.
god, Fulgrim doesn't have deadly. Oh no, he does. Okay, I just can't read. I was going to get so sad for a second. I was going to be like, what's even the fucking point if he doesn't get it?
What's even the point, you damn snake?
uh, but God, yeah, no. Crow, would you like to explain what happened to the Lord Captain's unit on your half of the turn or the round?
Oh, well, the Fellblade turnaround and finally did something.
That it did.
Uh,
It
we unleashed as much firepower from this Fellblade, which honestly, it could have probably turned the tide of the battle if I had been using it before Magnus got. Um,
yeah.
it should have definitely been in front. But it just wiped out all of the good Captain Gooners. Uh, Friends, family, brothers in arms, same difference. And left our good old Captain Gooner here, the best battle brother of them all, uh, fighting on his own.
It was literally he was the only man standing. He took no damage from the Fellblade's barrage. I don't know how he did it. He was the only one left standing, and it was just him and the Fellblade, and I just couldn't believe it. And then Crow charged him with the Fellblade,
Yeah,
and it didn't kill. But then the Lord
it killed
Captain
his
couldn't do any
last
damage
guy.
back. He killed his last guy, and then the Lord Captain couldn't do any damage back. I don't know. It was insane. The stupid bit character that I only included in this fight because I think it's funny to do the bit and annoy my friends with the Captain Gooner voice. And he
Suddenly,
had
you like
like
them.
he had he had an amazing last stand holding off the Fellblade while the rest of the army dealt with Magnus and the Vortex Beast and everything else. And it was just incredible. I don't know. That's the thing that I love about like games like this. It's also the same reason why I love Pokemon Nuzlocke, because like you can just throw something out there, and because of some weird RNG or just like something like insane going your way that you weren't expecting it to, it can just lead to you forming like really fun narratives or like stuff with these characters. Because now like whenever I think of the Lord Captain, I think of him valiantly standing down that fell blade while the rest of the army tries to take out everything else before getting gunned down in the streets like the minor spelling mistake gif.
uh, One of my favorite instances will always be playing against our friend Joe and coming up with ratio.
Oh god,
My
yeah.
stupid little flux master. Sorry, he's a
That
change caster, but it depends on what he is that day.
that goddamn change caster.
Kid
Uh
L plus ratio, Loratio is here.
God. Uh
I nearly included him in this army with a bunch of pinkies.
God, that would have
They would
if
have
you'd
been your
include
first target, knowing you and how much you hate my pinkies.
Oh no, I
You,
would have left them alone. After fighting against Nolly's Necrons, I've learned my lesson.
especially with ratio leading them, change casters are mean.
Yeah. I learned my lesson after playing that Wraithguard versus Necron list with Nolly because Nolly and I both kind of agreed that like if I just not kept charging the big blob of things that keep regenerating or spawning more guys, things would have gone differently. But I know not to do that against the Pinkies because last time I did that, the Avatar of Cain was stuck dealing with them for all 5 rounds of the game.
Yeah,
uh,
I'd say the Pinkies are a lot more balanced than the Necrons, I'd say.
yeah, the way Nolly was running them was just like kind of evil. I don't mean that. Nolly ran them in a very smart way. It just was something that made me want to
Evil.
tear my hair
Evil and
out.
smart. Evil and crafty, and we appreciate them.
Yeah. Uh, Also, I'd like to say a very important thing that happened on your half of round two was you getting the Vortex Beast to charge into my Grey Hunters on the middle point, which then set up for the entire like impetus of rounds 3 and 4,
Yeah.
which were me trying to kill that damn Vortex Beast with its feel no pains that somehow you kept rolling fives on.
Which is always a Zange player's goal, is to infuriate and stall.
It was insane. Like I think you rolled more fives and sixes during the feel no pains for that thing than you did for like the entire game otherwise.
Again, Voldy.
Yeah,
Voldemir is our good boy.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at where we are in the recording and just watching as I know these sky claws are going to get blasted to hell.
Oh yeah,
My poor sweet innocent guys, the Lord Captain's men, dead, gone too soon. Also, you ate
truly
the Grey
before their
Hunters with
time.
the Vortex Beast. They just got fucking eaten.
They got absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
Which is again, I love that you can get 3 of these just on one army.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to deal with those if we fight again with you playing K Suns, cause Jesus.
I'll I definitely would probably not be able to afford them again. If I go for only Zongors, I probably would only afford one again.
Yeah.
Uh it's either all Zongors or all Rubric Marines, and uh it's not a great title, but I named the title like the army lobotomy. Psyker lobotomy, and I didn't even include all of the Rubric Marines, which are basically lobotomized.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
but
yeah,
that's
this
because
was
I
the
didn't really
sorry.
like the rubrics, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it felt more fun to have the Enlightened Zongors and have like a thoroughly mixed army than to run only one thing, which is just another standard Thousand Sun army of just solely Rubric Marines.
I will say, the Zongors on disc do seem pretty strong, or like for their point cost, they seem pretty helpful.
They are, especially when you're trying to go for like an attached unit,
Yeah.
that could be boosting the hell out of every other unit. I My problem is that I don't group my most useful units together, cuz that Thunderwolf motherfucker, Captain Thunderwolf, whatever his name is, uh
The Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf.
yes, would be dead if I had grouped all of my enlightened Zongors together.
Oh, with precision, yeah.
Yeah, like just have all of them just start wiping things. Like that is a new plan for next time. Um, I will keep them. I like them a lot. They have really good rolls as well, which is very interesting. But I guess that comes with being an enlightened creature.
Yeah. And then
um,
this was the round where I moved everything after clearing out your rubric marines and stuff to get that point to the bottom of the map. I
yeah.
just kind of moved everything I could to try to get your vortex beast off the middle point, and that's when we learned about the feel no pains and just how me having all of my terminators, my remaining wolf guards, and everything else hit it as hard as I could with like my land raider crusader firing into it and stuff before I charged it, and then it just would not go down no matter what I did. They just would not die.
I think that's what happens a lot is either you have one of the big models go down far too easy or far harder than you'd expect it to. Like with
Yeah.
Magnus, far too easy. And then with, the Vortex Beast, oh god, what is happening?
Yeah. That was a just a god. I think we called it after like a round of you fighting back with the Vortex Beast just to see what would happen.
It's because
Uh,
we were both curious as to like how far we could push this because realistically I could have taken it back if I had stalled the game well enough and enough things had lived.
yeah,
It's just really hard to do that when secondary admissions are hard to choose for certain armies and games, and you can't switch them halfway through. Um, when you find out that you picked the wrong one. Um,
yeah. I think also an important thing is just uh like I think a big thing was that I kind of just put you in a spot like with how I charged in my army where you couldn't really do as much shooting because of how engagement rules with like melee and shooting work,
yeah.
you know?
Which again, the whole point of my army is just range and to get out of the way as quickly as possible. But you prevented me from getting away, without
Yeah.
serious repercussions. Because I assume there's a lot of fallback rules considering you're a melee based army. Where you could
Yeah.
have taken advantage of that. Um, it's just circumstance in the map, but you know, I still enjoyed myself. I still had fun testing out the Fellblade and a lot of other
Yeah,
things. I
it
really
was a
love
fun
my
game.
Vortex base beast, Vortimir.
It was a really fun game.
Yeah,
Uh yeah, no, I had a good time overall. I am glad you did as well. I still can't believe what happened with the Lord Captain and that fucking Fellblade.
again,
Uh,
just that image, and I hope that Nolly like zooms in on the epic posing that is entirely unnecessary.
I'll have to show a quick screenshot of what's actually how we're playing because and just hope Games Workshop doesn't see and kill us.
Yeah.
Um, but it's such a funny fucking like image. Uh, God, what a game.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I can't wait until I get to play again. I haven't really been able to play much just because I've been working a ton recently. Uh,
I mean, for me, I have just been working on MGKC.
yeah,
Uh, I'm just gonna. I will only ever use Magica as the first word. Um, because we don't want people stealing the copyright.
that is very fair.
But developing Magica, like I take into a lot of like things that Warhammer doesn't feel right over, in terms of like lore and balancing and stuff.
Makes sense.
So like I've just been working on the basis of that and also trying to get art done, but I haven't been able to work on all that much and make progress because drawing Marines sucks. It sucks a
That
lot.
is fair. That is fair.
Uh,
That's why I am very sorry that you that you were having to do that.
uh, I don't mind. It's again practicing a thing that I'm not used to because for the audience at large listening, if you are listening to this portion, um, I am very organic based as an artist. So trying to draw like technical or any kind of like hyper sci-fi can get very difficult unless it's bio based. Um so hard edges and so on I can do, it's just very difficult for me because that's just not how I'm wired. I'm not wired to be mathematical or uh, I'm very logical, but it's hard for me to process really complex like logistics of like suits, armors, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
especially ones that don't entirely make sense, like a
Like Warhammer
centurion.
ones. God, don't. Centurions are so fucking weird.
All
On
of
that,
them are a little weird.
on the bright side, at least you have like a month plus before this has to go out. So like,
Oh yeah,
you got
and
time.
I definitely have. I will have a lot easier of a time with the rest of them, because even the Necrons are a little bit easier for some reason. I think it's because there's so much like empty space on like a Space Marine suit. You know,
Yeah.
it's very hard to capture that dimension when you're not used to trying to do that. Um, Also all the little tiny details.
I mean, you
Uh,
don't have to do all. You can just do the. I don't think you need to do all the little tiny details personally, but
not
we can
as
talk about
many
that after the
like
episode's
tiny
over.
details, but what I'm referring to is like the details of their insignias, the different it, how I like the thumbnails to be is consistent where the victor is more detailed, more lifelike, more grand, hence like with the
Yeah.
Avatar of Cain. And the chibis are where I get the break. Like
Fair.
all of the effort goes into the victor because that's who deserves the most honor. Um, it's like their trophy.
Yeah.
So not all the little details, but hopefully we don't get Grey Knights winning in this in this series.
I would be surprised if anyone we knew wanted to play Grey Knights, if I'm being
Exactly. So
honest.
that's why I'm saying if someone wins as Grey Knights, which is horrifying, uh, uh, for my sake of mind, because
God. Yeah, no.
tchotchkes,
Sorry, what were you going to say? My bad.
because tchotchkes, and it
Yeah.
it gets from there.
Yeah. On that note, Crow, is there anything else you'd like to say about the match?
I just had a fun time. I don't often win. I don't play that often, but the thing is that I don't take my losses to heart because every time that I run an army, I'm usually trying to figure out stuff. And I guess the thing I'd like to impart with the audience is it doesn't matter if you lose. It's a really good opportunity to see what units are better suited to you, your play style, and even if you lose repetitively, you're still winning in learning more about yourself and the models that you run.
Call me Votan the way I be holding grudges. I'm
uh,
kidding, I'm kidding. I just
I
wanted to say that. Crow's
personally,
right. Crow's 100% right.
I personally come from a household of four stepbrothers. So I am very much aware of grudges, and I have worked very
Yeah.
hard to not hold that in my competitive nature. But if you try and come for me in Smash, I will brawl you into the floor.
uh, on that note, I think that's all we really have to say. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube pleasantry stuff.
We hope to see
That's
you
really
over
it.
on D3 as well.
Yeah, over on the main channel. And Crow, do you think you'll have your project up by this point, or should we not talk about that yet?
I believe if we have basically gotten your introductions onto D3, because I plan to take little bits from everyone's introductory videos before posting my own to Disc 3. So you guys might be finding me here before I'm actually on Disc 3 because my persona is still in the works.
Yeah,
Um,
I need to finish that video.
take your
I know what I'm
time.
doing this. I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
But my
Uh,
projects will probably not be for a minute until I have Dr. Oleander working.
hell yeah. On that note, we'll see y'all next time.
And see you next time, folks.